So when we look at the grand scheme of things, Shiba Inu has actually done quite well in this market cycle. And some people might disagree with me in terms of price. And guys, I get it. When the markets have been good, SHIB has done well. When the markets have been bad, SHIB has gone along right with that. But there is something specifically that has held it back for the most part in this market cycle, and it is in fact going to change sometime in the near future. In fact, we just reached a 4-year low in this certain metric, and it does need to be discussed. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. Again, it's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So looking at SHIB price as of late, right now we actually just got the PCE report. It came back a little bit hotter than expected, and these are good and bad. What we are seeing is that income is in fact on the rise, spending is in fact dropping. So people are actually having more money. So this is good from a having money perspective, capital that can be injected into the market perspective, but not good when it comes to dropping rates and trying to tackle inflation. Hopefully that makes sense for people, and maybe I'll talk about this more in a different video today, but we're starting to see obviously the market react to this. There is heavy volatility going on right now, and when we look at SHIB overall, yes, there have been times of good, there have been times of suck, times of good, times of suck, right? And now we're on this verge of again getting back into a time of good. But the problem that SHIB and most ERC20s have dealt with during this market cycle in general is that ETH has just been so bad. The layer that SHIB is built on, the LP that is one of the largest that Shiba Inu has been doing so poorly. When we actually look at Ethereum from a price standpoint, we're back at basically early bull market cycle prices. We're talking about November of 2023. In fact, we just had another significant drop off overnight. We know that there was actually some of that ETH that was stolen from the Bybit hack was in fact unloaded last night to the tune of like $25 million, I believe it was. But ETH has dealt with a lot of negative things as this cycle has gone on. A lot of increased competition from other blockchains. We know that institutional players as of late have been dumping Ethereum. Some of them have attested the lack of good performance due to not having staking with some of these spot ETF products, whether that's right, wrong, or otherwise. There have been things that have been a story that have pushed Ethereum down. Now, the silver lining on that is that whales have been accumulating. Large entities have been accumulating. World Liberty Financial just continues to smash the buy button time and time again. And this is something where, again, we will eventually reach this point where there is an inflection, right? There's only so many people that are willing to sell. One thing I forgot to mention as well, the Ethereum Foundation doing a lot of selling throughout this market cycle. And normally they just usually sell big chunks at the top. So they're taking a different approach, right? And all these things have been reasons why SHIB and other ERC20s have just been drug around in this market cycle. They've been drugged down when times are not that great. For example, ETH has been performing so bad that it actually just reached a 4-year low versus BTC. So here's the thing. Every market cycle, there is a point where ETH bottoms versus BTC, and then things start to run. All right, there are 4 different phases throughout the crypto market cycle, and I should have had this pulled up, but first you have BTC season, where BTC runs hot, where it becomes, again, major dominance, which we have seen throughout this market cycle. And then phase 2, you see ETH bottom versus BTC start outperforming BTC. Clearly, that has not been the case yet, because if we're hitting a 4-year bottom, obviously that shift hasn't happened. But then you start to see phase 3. Altcoins, blue chips, something like Shiba Inu start to make big moves versus Ethereum, big moves versus BTC, and then the low caps follow. So we haven't even truly entered that phase 3 yet in this market cycle. All right, we haven't even entered phase 2 yet. There have been times we thought we have, but clearly we have not. So we're actually looking at possibly a more extended market cycle, at least as of this point. This is what the charts are at least showing us. The data might be showing us something slightly different than that, but this is what has really held Shiba Inu and other ERC20s back in a big way. And again, this may be that point where it bounces, right? We could potentially see this a full round trip right here, right? We could see, ETH drop down to the 0.017 level. Right now it's at 0.022. Maybe ETH continues to just putz around here while BTC starts to extend. Now, the good news for SHIB, guys, is although Ethereum has not been doing that great. SHIB is kind of doing its own thing here. Remember, we look at this chart for SHIB, it's a very, very obvious difference versus ETH, right? ETH is back at these same levels it was on March 15th. SHIB is very much extended from these levels, all right? SHIB is still currently up, oh gosh, even about 10% right now. So yes, SHIB is kind of doing its own thing. It's still going to be drug around by ETH, unfortunately, but what that means is that as ETH continues to do better and improve, or as it starts to do better and improve, that will only help Shiba Inu even more. The great things that have been present for SHIB, like I've talked about in other videos, removal of supply from exchanges, whale accumulation and hoarding, retail interest, those things are helping set a strong foundation for this next leg for SHIB. And then things really get exciting when we start talking adoption, when we start talking about that capital beginning to re-enter the space. So that's the biggest problem we're dealing with right now. When that does start to change, that is when we can make huge, significant moves. But we need ETH to come along for the ride. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.